Ben 10 Alien Force, the action-packed series where Ben Tennyson teams up with old friends and new allies to save the world from intergalactic threats. As he unlocks new transformations and powers, the question remains, which of these mighty aliens truly stands out from the rest? Join me as we dive into the world of Ben 10 Alien Force and rank the 10 main aliens, discovering the ultimate champions of this epic universe. At number 10, we've got Spider Monkey. This guy is pretty much a not-so-subtle nod to everyone's favorite neighborhood Spider-Man. He's got the whole package: web shooting tail, wall-sticking powers, super strength and agility, you name it. But let's be real, in a show with a ton of alien options, being a jack of all trades just doesn't cut it. So, Spider Monkey ends up being just kinda meh, not terrible, but not all that impressive either. Coming in at number 9, we've got Brainstorm. This guy's got a name that says it all. He's one of Ben's brainiest aliens. With a massive brain like his, he can crunch numbers and solve complex problems in a snap. Plus, his intelligence gives him some serious electrical and telekinetic powers. But there's a catch. Sometimes, Brainstorm's super smarts can be his own worst enemy. He knows he's a genius and isn't afraid to show it, which can be a bit of a turn-off. And even though he's a whiz with the tough stuff, he can sometimes overcomplicate things or forget the simple things. That means he's not always the most helpful teammate on the field. Sitting at number 8, we've got Jetray. This guy is one of Ben's go-to aliens for getting around and fighting bad guys. He's fast, like super fast, and can shoot some serious lasers from his eyes and tail. He's even been known to go into hyperspace, which is pretty impressive. But let's be real, Jetray isn't exactly the flashiest alien in Ben's arsenal. He might be practical and useful, but he's not exactly exciting. In fact, he's used so often that his transformations can feel a bit repetitive. So while he's a solid choice, he's not exactly the most thrilling. At number 7, we've got the one and only Alien X. This guy is hands down the most powerful alien in the Omnitrix. He can bend reality to his will. That is, if Serena, Bellicus, and Ben can all agree on what to do. But let's be real, that's a tall order when two of them are polar opposites. Alien X is a big deal in the Ben 10 world for the way he shook up the show's universe, but as a transformation, he's a bit of a letdown. It's not until Ben 10 Omniverse that Alien X really gets to show off his stuff, since Ben swore off using him way back in X equals Ben plus 2 and didn't look back for the rest of Alien Force. At number 6, we've got the one and only Goop. This guy is a seriously unique addition to Ben's lineup. He's a slime blob that can take a beating, turn into acid, and is controlled by a special anti-gravity doodad that lets him change shape and fly around. It's kinda unclear if Goop is the slime or the doodad, but that's part of his charm. Goop's anti-gravity thingy can be a bit of a head-scratcher though. It can turn off for no apparent reason, and if Goop gets separated from it, he's pretty much useless. But even with all that weirdness, Goop is a surprisingly powerful little guy. Sitting pretty at number 5, we've got the big guy himself, hamasur. This dude is Ben's go-to alien for when things get hairy in Alien Force and beyond. He's super strong and super tough, and he can grow from 12 feet tall to a whopping 60. And when he's at his biggest, he gets some extra armor plating to boot. Now, hamasur might be a bit of a one-trick pony, but that one trick is pretty dang effective. Still, it would have been nice to see a little more variety in his powers. And it's a bit of a bummer that his coolest ability, the whole growing thing, got kinda forgotten in later versions of the show. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. Coming in at number 4, we've got the little alien that could echo. This guy might be small and not the toughest, but he's a perfect example of how big things can come in small packages. He's got a sonic scream that can burst eardrums and the power to make copies of himself. Now, Echo's duplication power is pretty sweet. It doesn't seem to have any limits, so he can just keep making copies of himself to overwhelm his enemies and pull off some sick combo moves. He even starts keeping a spare clone in his car trunk, just in case things go south. That's some next level planning right there. At number 3, we've got the icy cool Big Chill. This guy can fly, pass through stuff like a ghost, and has some serious ice powers. He can shoot freeze breath, make icy structures, and even shoot ice beams from his hands. He can even combine all his powers to phase through a target and freeze them at the same time. Plus, he can survive in even the harshest environments. Big Chill's versatility makes him one of the most useful aliens in Alien Force, and his creepy design just adds to his cool factor. Except for that controversial redesign in Omniverse, he's definitely an alien that gives fans the chills, in a good way. At number 2, we've got the Crystal Champ, Chromastone. This guy is a real standout in Ben's lineup, with powers and backstory that set him apart. Turns out, he's a sample from the Lone Guardian of Petropia, which is Diamond Head's home turf. His crystal body is crazy tough, and he can absorb all kinds of energy and fire it back as laser beams. Now, this reveal did come with some issues, but it's still huge for Chromastone. He's easily one of Ben's most powerful Alien Force aliens, even though Ben didn't really explore his full potential. But hey, that just adds to his mystique, right? And coming in at number 1, we've got the plant-powered powerhouse, Swampfire. This guy was the first alien Ben used when the Omnitrix got an upgrade in Ben 10 Returns Part 1, and it's like it was meant to be. Swampfire is hands down the coolest alien from the Alien Force roster. He's got this crazy combo of plant control and fire blasts, and he can regenerate from pretty much any injury. Swampfire's powers are kinda like a mix of Wildvine and Heat Blast from the original series, which makes him feel both new and familiar at the same time. And that's what makes him so awesome. He's versatile and memorable, and he's got that classic Ben 10 vibe. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to my channel. Your support means a lot to me and helps keep this channel going strong.